Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's Jay and of course today here I'm going to be reading some suggestions as you see in the title. Now of course these suggestions are from the Jujutsu Shenanigans Discord server, and let me not waste any more time and let me get right into it. Now, of course, our first suggestion here made by Uchini Dead says, I think transfigured flesh should work like an obstacle, spreading across the buildings, not just the wall. Now, as you see in the picture right here, it looks more like a barrier or like a building of itself that you could climb, which is way more useful than whatever we currently have. Now, this next suggestion was made by the one and only Silly Chi, or part of it was, and it's build mode suggestions. New block, custom mesh, would allow you to port existing meshes into your map. It doesn't have to be instant, plus it could have limitations. Now, I think they're referring to, I think an example of a mesh would be like the plushies you could find in the Shibuya roulette map and the plushie behind the subway. And next one is the image block change. When broken, will remove the image, replacing it with a black background. And if the background is hidden, it would just go away. New block, corner block, would just be like the wedge block, but would have a corner version. Skill builder. New skill, stun, would prohibit movement, allowing for better skills. Would activate by setting the held down thing for regular skills. New timeline box, ultimate, would add most ult moves into it, like 0.2 domain, I win, Star Rage's black hole, and Mangeka's one shot / 30% counter, and more to come. New change, move key, will let you set the move key to G and R, and at the end of the G key it would give you your ult moves, allowing you to make custom ult animations and custom ult moves. New timeline box, visuals, would let you add visual effects to your character like flames and wedges or energy. Hold, makes you hold a player in place in a move, like for example wing throw, but you can set how long you want the person to be held for. If they'll be held from behind, front, from sides, below you, or under you. Snip, be able to snip out certain parts of moves to just a certain part of it. For example, cut out the run up part of Final Judgment and just use the attack part. Asset add, asset remove, be able to remove or add an asset from move. For example, make a move using Resolute slash, but remove the teleporting behind someone asset, and be able to add, for example, the head splitter asset that makes you decapitate someone without having to actually activate the counter. Guarantee hit / lock on, be able to set a certain part or the entire custom move to be locked onto a victim both camera wise and attack wise, preventing you from missing the move. Cinematography, be able to give your move cinematic angles, be able to set it to be seen by the move's victims only. Set area only or server wide cutscene. While in cinematography you'll be able to give it cinematic angles, dramatic lighting, VFX, SFX. Make a custom victim animation, custom self animation, and also if anyone is caught in it, it will be stuck in place. You will have to set an animation for them to in the doing of so, or they'll be able to freely move around. Domain requirements. This will spread into two types of domain requirements. Caster, be able one the following requirements: needs over, under, health, needs all moves off cooldown, needs to have limbs, etc. Victim, for context, this is a requirement for the person being put into domain. Example, Mahito tried to kick Yuji out of his domain. Has over or under health, is or isn't playing a certain character, has his movesets off cooldown, has all limbs, etc. Character list, be able to put your custom movesets in a character list, keeping them after death, which is basically just saying, like, for example, you select honor 1, you die, you still have the honor 1 moveset, and you wouldn't have to teleport or go back to the moveset a bajillion times. Next moveset, or next suggestion by Duke1643, it would be cool if every update we get the dude from the icon of JJS dressed like a new character. Andre, add that you could cancel domains and custom movesets. I thought you can already do this. This one's made by 5 Sieverts. If you use the drag emote next to Mahoraga's adaptation wheel after killing it, you'll be able to drag the wheel and for extra aura points. it won't despawn until you drop it, so you can show everyone in the server what you have until someone hits you, with examples right here and what it's based off the Sukuna panel of him picking up Mahoraga's wheel. Now, me personally, I think you should be able to like wear the wheel on your back or head, or like maybe on the side, and you could collect multiple wheels too. But that's my suggestion. Our next suggestion by Boom Bomber 828. Add a second option to breakable in the build moveset for a material called tough or durable, which makes it so only strong moves can damage the parts and not just ragdoll players, because sometimes it's annoying when you're fighting someone in a building and it gets sent to the bottom floor covered in rubble. This could also be used on the map potentially, like areas like the subway roof, to prevent the annoying thing that happens when you fight and end up on the subway. Of course, then people probably wouldn't go to the subway. With the little visual image right here that kind of explains it. This one's a long one. Our next suggestion by Golden_Scary Crow. Restless Gambler Rework. This rework of Restless Gambler's domain was made to expand on the domain we have and to make it more like Kenji Hakari's domain. This rework not only gives it more accurate representation, but gives it a much needed facelift. Since the Fist Attorney's domain, I've always wanted Restless Gambler's domain to have more going on. Plus, tying the passive to it gives him more uptime on his domain and allows being on a roll. Passive, Gambling Fever. The user's ult bar now is cut into 5 sections. Examples are attached. Each section is 20% of your awakening. Each section of the ult will change to either gold or red depending on what you last rolled. For example, if you rolled an uneven jackpot or an even jackpot such as 444, one section will fill up red. If you roll an odd number jackpot such as 777, one section will fill up with gold. When a section is filled up, you get that amount of awakening back after the jackpot ends with 5 stacks of Gambling Fever. You fully get your awakening back at the end of the jackpot. Red. If a section of the ult bar is filled by the color red, the next time you use your awakening to open your domain, your roll speed is increased by 20% for each section as red. If a section of the ult bar is filled by the gold color, the next time you use your awakening to open your domain, your luck will be increased by 0.1 for each section that is gold. Now, is that a little confusing? Yes, but that's kind of like the whole gist of Hakari's domain in Jujutsu Kaisen alone. Henrique Casagrande, skill builder stuff that we need. Add an ultimate block that lets us use stuff like Gojo's 0.2 domain, Mahito's Black Flash, and base only ults, as the last suggestion said. Add an activate awakening block, which will instantly put you in your awakening when activated, regardless of current ult meter, which is like the Enchain, Vow, and Ranked, I think. Let us bind custom moves to G and R so the above block can be used properly. Maybe make a characters tab so we don't need to make 1 bajillion moveset blocks for one kid. Also could open up a lot if there's customizations like changing your passive size and etc. This one ties into the if statements further on this list. If 2 moves are in one character, maybe there could be an interaction between them. Example, if use current use or hide it or unhide it like a Evo. VFX block. Everyone wants this already. Just let you apply a move's VFX to yourself in A and for a set time. Effect block. Apply some sort of effect to the user, to the target or user or target, an aura, losing a limb, status effects, summoning Takatron, and changing your character to be Yuji or some other characters as seen in Brothers, maybe Mahoraga too, as well as how long it lasts. Add a stun block for unlag awakening animations, etc. Activate super awakening. Add super awakening, and just other stuff so we can make super awakening. Variables and blocks related to them, as well as the if statements. Being able to split the timeline at a certain point. Example, we can have a hit variant and a miss variant. On-demand variants like DF, Final Black Flash straight up instead of having to do the entire chain in a move somehow. Could also have an option for finishers and conditionals like Jacob's Ladder. Text blocks, speech blocks, text box, and just normal text for awakening animations and moves. This kind of ties into like you can maybe make it for like NPCs and maps. Make some block be able to target the user or the opponent. Example, add awakening or an aforementioned add stun. A block that sends out a logic signal for a set amount of time. Our next suggestion made by Galminis, being able to recharge Chozo's blood orbs even when they aren't completely absent. This will recharge the current number of orbs to 4, but it will use less ult bar compared to a full recharge. For example, if I have 2 orbs and I click R, I will have 4 orbs, but I will use half the ult bar I would have used normally. If I have 1 orb and I click R, I will have 4 orbs, but I will use 3/4 of the ult bar I would have consumed normally, as shown right here. The suggestion by StarKills45, allowed Hakari emote to drag corpse like the drag emote does. Now, originally, this should be common sense, as the panel or episode that this emote is even based on is Gojo's carrying a dead body. Our next suggestion by Ziff.exe, give us back our shenanigans. For example, an arm wrestling emote where you spam spacebar or make it like the same as Higurama's QTE on Final Judgment. Any crying emote, just add a face over the original or avatar, add some tears with some animation. It's crazy how we don't have a single cry emote in this game. It could be used for toxic and just for purposes. I think bow, people technically use bow as like a crying emote, but that doesn't matter. Ping pong emote, first to mess up a QTE Luthus. I think this would work like the Marvel Rivals QTE with the volleyball or the beach ball, as shown right here. And literally any throwable, like some books from the bookstore, pick up a transfigured human and throw it at them like Rika throws. Flash grenades, fire grenades, Jogo for when he gets at it. And a normal grenade, an Izzo eye, but it looks cooler. You can actually aim with it in an RPG. I think you should still just please add throwables or just anything. Add chairs and the fire extinguishers to build mode, please. Next are 5 interactable games. For example, bowling ball area where it's like an actual small mini game where you can play with your friends. Give the cafe some use, like adding a chessboard to play chess on with your friends. And if you have no friends, or if no friends join, you play with the AI like the little lolly bar. A Mario Kart like game mode, basically a relay game mode where 12 players join a game of Shenanigans Kart and race where you can actually get items on the road and you can get random throwables like, and it has a Noki, bro. Oh god, bro, I can't pronounce that. Or just the grenade voice recorder transferred human, where instead of a human, I think it's like the squid from Mario Kart, like a monkey that covers their view and then goes away. And you know, you drive to the end getting money from it. First place gets 10 coins, first place gets 15 coins, second place gets 10 coins, and third place gets 5 coins. Now, of course, this would be a Shenanigans like edition, which is good, because when's the last time we actually had a Shenanigans update in this game? And now our next suggestion by Denzaz, low-key T should make it for if you press the O bar while doing the chant for Mahoraga, you will summon Mahoraga with a highly intelligent AI. Like playing as him is cool, but it would be cool to do an actual ritual moment. Now, I actually agree with this. But this could be like his 0.2 domain, or his Chimera Shadow Garden could be his 0.2 domain, as explained in this suggestion by Penguin People Plays. By pressing G plus R similar to Gojo's 0.2 domain, Megumi forfeits his awakening to create a domain using the barriers as the wall, as this older video of him shows. Inside this domain, Megumi should not receive any ult moveset, way too chaotic for the inside of a domain that might even be smaller than usual, but instead simply buff base moves. Some examples may include his special, which could make a shadow clone. Upon using Megumi's special, you almost instantly sink into the ground, leaving behind a clone of yourself for a moment to trick the enemy, sort of like Hakari's special counter. Megumi Wolf, enhanced totality. The wolf will stab and then push the enemy away, doing more damage and giving Megumi more time to move. Megumi's domain would have 3 added effects to finalize it. Extra effect 1, Shadow Toads. Toads will every now and then appear at the enemy's feet, making them unable to move until they dash, serving as an annoyance for the enemy and a waste of their dash. Could be a rabbit plus toad variant too. Extra effect 2, weight distribution. Every time an enemy is ragdolled inside this domain, they will stack slowness debuffs on their self. This fits well for Megumi's Shikigami kit. It makes the domain a bit better to use despite the barrier conditions. However, for every object, including those in the domain casters and other shadows, the player inside the Megumi domain, the Megumi user will gain a slowness debuff as well. This won't be noticeable with a single person, but with more people in it, it may be a good idea to single someone out. Extra effect 3, instant storage. If an item drops inside the storage and the domain caster has no item in their shadow storage, then it will automatically be retrieved back into their shadow storage. This is good for a number of reasons, whether it being you drop your weapon, miss a thrown item, or you just want to quickly steal another player's item. Pressing G would cancel the domain. Also, replace Shadow Swarm and Megumi's Awakening if this is added. Now this one, oh boy, I'm gonna be yapping, or not really. It's small, not really. Now this next suggestion is made by DMT Creeper, or Damned Creeper 1310. Culling games. The Culling games will be a battle royale game mode separate from roulette, public servers, and ranked. The last one standing wins, sort of like Realm Rampage's roulette or the map. Each game will have a randomly selected map based on different Culling game colonies. Lake Gosho Colony is example. Rules: killing an opponent gives the player 10 points, while killing an NPC gives the players 5 points. Once a player has 100 points, they can expand their points to add a rule to the game. A player can also spend 25 points to gain a vow similar to those found in the ranked game mode. If a player's score remains the same for over 5 or 6 minutes, their awakening slowly begins draining, and once it reaches 0, they die. Features: each player has a Kogen they can use to purchase rules and vows once they have enough points. It also gains more functions when more rules are added. These functions are accessible in the shop tab exclusively for Culling games mode. Each kill a player gives them $5, and winning the game gives them additional $100. Lobbies range from 20 players upwards to a max of potentially 40 or 50. Natural curses alongside civilians which can be killed for more points. This includes transfigure humans, however. Transfigure humans spawned by the player via perfection will not grant points. Additional rules. These are all rules that can be added by the players once they have 100 points or more. Scoreboard. Once activated, player information is displayed on the scoreboard accessed by the same menu you used to see a player's kill count. This also shows how many points they have, who is still alive, and how many kills they have, player and non-player. All players will receive a team icon above their head revealing the location. Points transfer. Players can send other players points. Closing barrier. The barrier slowly shrinks and forces players to get closer to the middle of the map or select the area. I think like the Fortnite Storm. I think that should be default. Double cash. All players gain double cash. That's it. Oh, yeah. That one, I feel like this could be just like a separate game in general, because I feel like, well, actually, it's too complex, but it's not complex enough to be a separate game. It still has its own functions, and as you see, it should be a different mode. It's probably be complicated for T's and IMED to add, though. Ideas and changes for weapons. Now, first, we got sprint and parkour. Wait, I forgot. This suggestion was made by cat_GL4Z. Now first, we have sprint and parkour. Allow sprint/parkour with small items. As an example, you could do it with the pistol Jet Black, but not with some others, even though they're smaller. Sniper rifles should also allow sprint, but 30% slower and without parkour, or add tactical sprint because it'll be funny. But as a nerf, it takes 2+ seconds to scope after. Items and ragdoll emote. Enable ragdoll emote with all items, sniper rifle, soda can, etc., so you can hand them over and drop without being hit or using them to drop them. Soda can police. When someone buys a soda can, others can't pick it up for 5 seconds to prevent stealing. If someone tries, a delivery guy in a police uniform appears and hits the thief with a bat, dealing 10 to 15 damage and knocks them down with a wacky sound. If the buyer picks up the can, the protection ends. Optionally, you can make it to where people from the friends list don't get attacked. Weapon ammo durability indicators. Add a UI element near the hotbar. Example, the above alt bar corners, which is like to indicate dash and special, to show ammo durability of weapons and how many they have, like the voice recorder. Deadeye plus creation for revolver. Deadeye, holding attack charges with the cling every 0.7 to 1 second, adding extra shot. On release, the character rapidly fires, either auto aim or blind. 1 to 2 shots you use 1 ammo, 3 uses 2, 5 or 6 uses 3, but deal 30 to 60 less damage and knockback. Creation, revolver has a 5 to 10% chance to not consume ammo, giving 1 + 1 shot. only once per revolver. It breaks only after trying to fire the 7th shot. If creation fails, the revolver destroys as usual. If it works, it fires once more with blue/purple if cursed. Cursed energy trail, exploding like the sniper rifle, knocking the user back. And 6, achievement, bullseye, hit or kill a player with all 6 deadeye shots. Sister's resentment, kill with the 7th revolver shot. Whack-a-mole, knock 4 people with jet black. Professional, kill 3 people with 3 consecutive sniper rifle shots. Our next suggestion by Neonen, change the self emote to actually make your camera POV through the phone and maybe extend the emote a bit so the effect lasts longer. And lastly, the suggestion by Mr. Mayo LR says add Zangetsu or just other swords in general as an Easter egg in Yuta's domain. Put the image there. Oof. Now, please tell me down below which one was your favorite suggestion, and this video is kind of hard to remake since I literally just yapped for 20 minutes straight with trying to make as little mistakes. But that doesn't matter, and of course, until next time, see you losers later.